Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to get rid of discipline problems from children. Children. Holy cow. Being a responsible adult is so hard when the children are absolute living nightmares. Whether they are your children or your students, you will face discipline issues. It's going to happen. 100% guaranteed going to happen. It's just a fact. So how do you go from having a child that is a living terror to a well-behaved child? Well, the key is in how you, the adult, handle the situation. You are the leader and you need to be the one to take control. So how do you get control? You use conscious discipline. What is conscious discipline? The best way to describe it would be a better way to help guide children in the decision-making process that is safe, has appropriate consequences, both good and bad, and where the children have trust in the adults in their lives. I have over 5 years experience using conscious discipline in the classroom and in my home. And I have very few discipline issues with my children because I use conscious discipline techniques every single day. So today we're just going to discuss the basics of conscious discipline and lay the basic foundation to build upon. There are 3 very important basics that you have to understand and implement before you can build upon them. They are choices, consequences, and following through. You have to have all 3 of them to have any type of foundation. If you miss one, the entire thing will crumble. Let's start by discussing choices. Children need to have choices in their lives. So much of what they do, they have no control over. The adults around them make choices for them all the time. As adults, we need to choose what control we hand over to the children. The more things they have control over in their lives, the easier it will be for them when the adults of their lives have to make choices for them. The most important thing to remember about choices is each choice has to be an acceptable answer. For example, you give a child the choice between having vegetables or candy. Obviously, you're going to want them to choose the vegetables, right? Well, because you gave them the choice of candy, that has to be an acceptable answer. So if they choose candy, you have to be ready to give them candy. It was one of their choices. You have to, as the adult, follow through with that. If you're wanting them to eat vegetables, instead give them the choice between having broccoli or carrots. If they want neither, you can then tell them, if you don't make a choice, I'll make it for you. If they still continue to choose neither, you pick one for them, and that be their choice. If they want neither, do not, I repeat, do not keep offering them choices until they find one that they like. You are the adult and you need to remain in control of the situation. This will all tie back to following through later on. One thing to note is that choices do not have to be big decisions. Here are some examples of choices you can give children in your lives every single day. Do you want to wear the red shirt or the blue shirt? Do you want to play quietly or read a book? Do you want fruit or yogurt with lunch? Would you like to wear tennis shoes or boots today? Would you like a granola bar or a fruit and grain bar this morning? Would you like to go to the park or ride your bike? Give kids as many choices in their lives as you can. I promise it'll make your life easier. It will also help develop their critical thinking and decision-making skills as well. Let's move on to consequences. One of the most important things to remember here is that consequences oftentimes should be choices. as well. Here's an example of how that might play out. You have two children who are roughhousing. The first time is a warning. You tell them they are playing too rough, that someone could get hurt, followed by, if you keep roughhousing, you will have to play by yourselves for a while. A few minutes later, they're roughhousing again. The second time is a reminder. You tell them, you are roughhousing again, and I'm afraid someone's going to get hurt. If I have to tell you again, you will have to play by yourself for a while. And of course, they're kids, so they're gonna begin roughhousing again, right? And after a few minutes, they do. This time, you tell them, this is the third time I've had to talk to you about roughhousing. Now you both will have to play by yourselves for a little bit. We can try again after a little bit. Let's break down this example and go over it in more detail. Kids usually don't realize what they're doing is wrong or dangerous. It doesn't even enter their minds. That being said, giving them a warning and a reminder before there are actual consequences and telling them what the consequences will be is very important. They need time to process and understand what they are doing is wrong and or dangerous, and they need to know what will happen if they don't correct what they're doing. If something is dangerous, tell them. Let them know that you are telling them to stop or to not do something because you want to keep them safe. Tell them what can happen. Here's an example. A child is climbing on a chair. You could simply just tell them to get off the chair. Or you could tell them that it's dangerous and that they could get hurt by doing that. Letting them know the why helps them in understanding and helps them remember for the future why they should or should not do something. There's also going to be times when children need to lose things. If you take something away from a child, a toy, their tablet, a fun activity, make sure they have the opportunity to earn it back. For example, they lost their tablet because they weren't listening. Tell them, to earn your tablet back, you need to show me that you're ready to listen by doing X, Y, and Z. Let them learn how to fix their mistakes, correct their behavior, and earn back the thing that they've lost. And there are some situations where there are consequences with no warning, no reminder. There's just a consequence. In these cases, try to make the consequence fit the crime as best as possible. In this example, a child draws on the wall. Their consequence is they have to clean the wall before they can continue playing. This goes for making messes as well. If they make a mess, they need to be the one to clean it up. If they're capable of getting a toy out, they're capable of putting that toy away. Consequences are about keeping kids safe, helping them make better decisions, and teaching them to correct their behavior. Choices and consequences don't work if you don't follow through. The most important thing with following through is the child's trust. If you don't follow through, you will lose their trust in you, and they will not listen, and there will not be actual consequences. And then you'll wonder why your child is the living spawn of Satan. Okay, maybe I went a bit too far on that one. But following through is keeping the child's trust in you, the adult in their life. Do not tell them you're going to do something if you are not able or willing to follow through. For example, a child is misbehaving, and you tell them if they don't correct their behavior, they're going to get spanked. They continue to act up. And after you give them a warning and a reminder, it is then your responsibility to follow through with what you told them you're going to do. Before you give a choice or a consequence, be sure that you're actually going to be able to do what you say you're going to be able to do. Don't promise kids time at the park if you're not sure that's something you can keep. This is where most people fail when it comes to conscious discipline. I get it. You don't like being the bad guy. No one likes being the bad guy, right? But that child is in your care, and they're your responsibility. And you are responsible for their safety and well-being. Sometimes being the bad guy in the child's eyes is in that child's best interest. At first, children will test their boundaries, but once they know you will follow through every single time, they will stop testing you. It just takes time, and it can be very rough for a while, but the reward is so great if you just follow through. Now, there's just one more thing we need to talk about, and this will take adapting conscious discipline to a whole nother level. But it takes a change in mindset to do so. This is all about the kind of attention you're giving kids. Kids need attention from the adults around them. That's just a simple fact. The problem is when we give too much attention to the negative behavior and not enough attention to the positive choices kids are making. When you see a kid making a good choice, tell them. If you guys are out in town and they've been behaving really good, they've been listening, they've been making a lot of good choices for a while, tell them. Say something along the lines of, "You have been so good. I really like how you're listening and behaving. Thank you." There are times when it is better to ignore the bad behavior and reward the good behavior, even though it is difficult. In turn, the children will start seeking out the positive choices more and more. Just remember, we all like it when someone notices the good things we do, and kids are no different. If we make an effort to reward the good things they do, they will make an effort to do them. This is just the basic foundation for starting conscious discipline. It will take trial and error to see what works for you and the children involved. Some children work better with more choices, and some children work better with a more consequential approach. Take the time to work on it, and I guarantee you will see results. Just be sure to remember, you are the adult. You are the leader, and you need to be the one who has control. It's your responsibility to help guide the children in your life, keep them safe, and build their trust in you. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. I love you. I'll see you next time.